Hi folks, doing Hero of None here with your Mundus Minutes on April 26, 2019. News, luxury merchant, and golden merchant stuff in just a few minutes. First up, in ESO news, the ESO celebration continues on with double experience cake and Sai Sahan's event, giving gift boxes out for doing dungeons and trial quests up until May 2nd. In addition to that, you could also get the last berry that you need for the Luminous Indrik mount. Right now. Remember, these berries are not going to be available after these events are over, so go ahead and try buying them now. PTS 5.0.1 patch notes are up on the PTS forums and include balance changes for all general classes, Necromancer, and other changes to elsewhere. More major changes are coming up next week, along with an EU character copy on Monday. Read more about that, again, on the PTS forums. ESO Live occurred today, and you can watch that on Bethesda's main Twitch channel. It included a bit of news, a look at the new house that you get as part of the Elsewhere main quest, and discussion on some of the stuff that's coming up in the PTS ability changes with Brian Wheeler and Gillian the Rogue. A few things to note was they were looking at removing snares on gap closers to make it a little bit easier for folks to get away from taxing things, but also changing gap closers slightly so they're a bit faster and also have a bit more distance to them. In addition to that, they're also removing the heal debuff from Major Runa Scythe on the Necromancer class, and a few other general changes as well. Again, read more of that. You can watch more of that on the Bethesda's channel. I'll include the video down below in the notes here. So now let's take a look at the luxury merchant for this week. So it's a bit more of a torture theme this week. You see, you got bandages, bloody soaked, body cages, corpse, Orca's burial urn, torture rack, and a torture reel. If you want to get that, go ahead and get that on the luxury merchant. And then on the golden merchant this week, I mean, 1 minute here while I pull it up. For 150k, you can get Fjord's necklace, weapon damage, weapon critical, stamina recovery, and reduces the cost and increases movement speed by 15%. This is actually kind of a meta set for certain builds that were using like a really fast run speed build, so they could chase, make people chase them. When they ran out of stamina, they could come back around and just kill them. Kind of fell by the wayside recently. I would probably not recommend getting the gold version of this. You still get that 15% with even a blue or a purple version of it. So you can get this currently out of East March. It's an easy farm as well. So yeah, probably wouldn't pay 150k for this. But just to note as well, the movement speed buff that you get with this, remember you're capped at about, I want to say 150% to 160% run speed. Don't quote me on that, but there is an upper bound to how much speed that you can get. And when you have major expedition, minor expedition, and this set, they don't quite go well enough together that you're going to get a huge boosted speed in general. Next up is the Wilder Queen necklace. Here you have weapon critical, stamina recovery, maximum stamina, and when you're your bow abilities now reduce movement speed of any enemy by hit by 30% for 3 seconds. Interesting set. I've tried using this in various builds, including one that was using acid spray, so you could get like double snares on top of things. But most people already have things to either remove snares, gap closers to kill that gap, and other things. So you're not going to really catch people off guard so much that they can't catch up to you, unless you're just really quick. I can't really say it's that great, to be honest. If you're running with a group and you're running a snare build, maybe this is good, but I mean, most people are probably going to be running Warden with Ice Warden, especially to do snare type builds and get that be more of a magic base. I can't see this being that useful in general, so maybe skip on this unless they give something better to this or another like 5-piece on it. I wouldn't get this for under 50k. In addition to that, again, that 30% there is 30% on purple quality, which you can get this out of green shade. For 250k, necklace of the Undaunted Infiltrator, Magicka, and weapon critical. Yeah, you didn't read that wrong. And when you use an ability that costs magicka, your light attacks deal an additional 700 damage, your heavy attacks deal an additional 1161 damage for 10 seconds. Honestly, I want to bother with this. Again, it's fun. This is an old Undaunted set that used to come out of the chests. Now I believe it drops in one of the dungeons. I want to say it comes out of Blackheart Haven, but I don't think that's exactly right. But yeah, this set is a medium armor set with magicka damage. It's trying to split on where it's going. Honestly, you wouldn't go with one or the other with this. And if you really wanted something that was going to boost up light attacks and heavy attacks, you'd probably go with the Sergeant set or something else entirely, just getting more base weapon damage in general. So yeah, definitely would just go ahead and skip this, to be honest. 250k, way too expensive. Necklace of Leeching. Adds 12k to your health, healing taken, and when you take damage, you have 8% chance to summon a cloud of leeching poison under the attacker. Deals 1,600 poison damage for every 4 meters for every 1 second for 5 seconds, and heals you for 100% damage caused. Used a lot by tanks. It is a pretty selfish set. It will basically heal you up, keep you alive for a very long time. And I see people using it in PvP as well as PvE. Do you have to get the gold version of this? It's up to you. I can't really say it's great or bad, but it will increase this poison damage up top here. Remember that this is going to be halved in Cyrodiil, but 800 every 1 second or 5 seconds can still be a bit of a healing as well. I'm not sure if it might fall into the rules of double dipping, meaning it's going to get cut in half once from the poison damage and cut in half twice from the healing given. But still, I see people using it. I can't really I can't really say it's bad or anything like that, but definitely more for a tanky type build, not something that's going to be closing the deal. Now, more interesting than that is the 100k helmets, which you have Veldreth Disguise. If you do not have the DLC or you don't have ESO Plus, this is a buy you probably need to get and get done. This is going to be 100k or 300k with the AP. But you're going to get an infused version of this. You can get medium or heavy is what I would recommend. Heavy preferably. It is going to be infused, but well, infused or impenetrable. But it'll be useful in both PvE and PvP. Currently, I believe this is meta for PvE. PvP, it can be hit or miss. People can dodge those little balls that come out with it, but it does do a bit of damage, and it is pretty meta. So I would recommend getting this if you do not have ESO Plus, or you just don't like doing dungeons in general. Get this set. Finally, Kraw's Vision, which gives physical penetration, and when you deal damage, you have 10% chance to summon a direct limbs and do shockwaves in front of you for 1,600 physical damage every 0.4 seconds for 1.2 seconds, and concur every 3 seconds. This is another set I would probably recommend for PvP because the AoE or the effect that it has here isn't really noticed by people, and it is a pretty fast proc. In addition to that, it also gets physical penetration, which a lot of people who have heavy armor, even light armor, this can help as well. Though you get better physical penetration with Spriggans. So whatever you choose to do, but this can be another useful set to grab. However, this is an easy set to grab. It's out of Fungal Grotto 1. So really, if you want this and you have the time, go ahead and run Fungal Grotto 1. If you just don't want to run the dungeon, probably pick it up on the Golden Merchant. Anyways, guys, that is your Mundus Minutes for April 26, 2019. I'll see you all on Tamriel.